Well, hello everybody. Here we go, day 4. And here's the color I chose. It was random because I wouldn't have picked that one right away to go into this. It's too bright. I would have gradually worked into it, but that's the name of the game. We're not picking and choosing, we're just grabbing and going. So this right here shows that I'm just picking and going. Oh my goodness. I want to thank everybody for their wonderful comments that they've been leaving. Very nice to read. The people have mentioned they've not ever did the 2 doubles for the granny stitch. It's something that I typically only do if I'm using thin yarn, and because it's sock yarn, and especially with minis, it I don't know, 3 just, to me, 3 just does not look right for sock weight yarn, lace weight yarn, whatever thin yarn you have. To me, putting 3 in just doesn't look so great. That's just my opinion. So I've always dropped it down to 2 and go from there. And it's been a while, like I was telling you guys earlier, it has been a while since I've did this thin of yarn. It's been a long while. So I forgot some of the little tricks that I used when using thin yarn, about putting the space in between and adding, because on a typical granny square I always do just 2 single crochets in the corner, and then I chain 2, and then I do 2 more in the same corner to do my turn. Well, with only doing 2 in each hole, you need that extra stitch so it doesn't buckle up. And that's totally my error. I didn't remember, but that's all right. I've not ripped this square out and redone it. It's still as is from the day that I started it. And I'm just going with it. I'm just going with it. Took my windshield wiper stopped working on the driver's side of my car. So we had snow coming today, which it's snowing out there right now. Well, you can't drive without a windshield wiper. You need a windshield wiper. And so I had a recall for my windshield wiper. So I called the car dealership, and, well, you've got to bring it in and we have to look at it, and then we have to order the part, and la da 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 da. I don't have time to wait. This is a national recall for 2014, 2015 models. Okay, so if it's a national recall, each dealership should have 5 of what they're recalling in stock. And when them 5 are gone, get another 5. But no, it's almost like they want to make it hard on people just so they go somewhere else and have it done. And then it's like, oh, well, just bring us the bill if you do that. Well, then they sit there and then they nitpick it. Well, they overcharged you for this and they overcharged you for that, and we're not going to pay for this, and we're not going to. So it boils down to you're just out of luck. So, but that's okay. It's water under the bridge. I took it to oh my gosh. I took it to one, to another place, Firestone. I know some people don't like Firestone. Don't get nasty and rude at the comments. We all go to who we like. Let's just accept it. Um, so I went to Firestone. They looked at it and they're like, "Yep, we can do it for this amount." Okay, it had to be done. I mean, they could have told me it was $3,000 and I would have cried, but you know, you have to have windshield wipers. So I told him, "Yep, go ahead." And he says the parts at the part shop down the street. It was like Napa, AutoZone, one of those places. He's like, "It's in stock. I just have to have them bring it down." Okay. So I sat there and I waited. And then the very nice guy, he called me back up and he's like, "The mechanic said you have an exhaust leak." I said, "Yeah, I know I do." I said, "I got to get it fixed." I said, "I ran over something and now it sounds loud and stinks real bad." I said, "I got to have it fixed." He goes, "Well, we can do that for you." It's like, "Oh, okay. Go ahead and do it. It needs done anyway." So he got on the phone and he was making some calls. Then he come over and he actually had pictures and he's like, "Okay, this is your car and this is what's wrong with it." He pointed it out. He's like, "This is what's wrong." And he said, "I already called the place down the street. They have the part." And he's like, "Would you want us to do it?" I says, "Might as well. Why we're here." And he goes, "Well, you know, altogether, it's only going to be like 2 hours or something like that, 2.5 hours." It was a little bit longer than that, but that's okay because now I've got wiper blades or a wiper arm again, and they did replace the wiper blades. And so, and they fixed the muffler. So now I can sit at the stoplight or stop sign or somewhere and not get gassed to death because of the leak in the exhaust. So that was really nice. So it was an expensive day, but hey, better than having a car payment right now, anyhow. I would not want a car payment right now for nothing. No, sir. I'll pass on that. I would like to have a new car. I really would, but not right now. Work is unstable, and I just I want to be able to know that I can afford the car because mine's paid for. Other than it being old with a lot of miles, a lot of wear and tear, she's paid for. The car's paid for. So if I don't have to go get a new car, I don't want to. So, and Junior, bless his little heart, he goes tomorrow I have to take him and drop him off at the vet because tomorrow's his snip day. So when he comes home, he's not going to be happy at all. He's going to be like, "What did you guys do to me?" But it had to be done. And I really appreciate, you know, this is why I love you guys. And I mean that with a full heart. I didn't know, I was talking to you guys about, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this every day because of my work schedule and, you know, trying to get everything done. And the support you guys, the support from you guys is just amazing. Just amazing. And you're like, oh, don't worry, Russ. We'll be here when you do a video. You just, hang in there and make it fun. And, and talking to you guys is fun. It really is. And work is stressful. And I had a doctor's appointment yesterday, and it went well. There's nothing wrong with me. I'm not sick. I don't have anything wrong other than just, I'm 51 years old and I have aches and pains just like everybody else. And, I got arthritis and, the normal stuff. I just have to go 4 times a year. I have to go every 3 months for a checkup because of one of the medicines that I take every day. And so my old doctor, she only needed to see me twice a year, and that was to do blood work. And when I ran out of prescription, I just had to call her up and say, hey, I'm out. I need a refill. And she'd refill it. Well, the new doctor, she doesn't like doing that, and she wants everybody the same. And I totally get it. Not mad at all. Absolutely not. If that's, if that gives her peace of mind, then so be it. And I really like her. She's nice, but I found out that I just got her like a year ago because my doctor retired. So I ended up with her, and we had a rocky start because, well, I kept making appointments and they kept calling and canceling because of a scheduling conflict. Okay. Well, the beginning of last year, I needed medicine. So I sent her a message, and she sent me one back, and she said, well, I need to see you before I give you your medicine refills. She's like, you keep canceling. So I sent her a message. I wasn't rude, she might not know. So I sent her a message back, and I said, I've not canceled my appointments. I said, your office sent me messages telling me that they overbooked and I have to reschedule. And every time I reschedule, it always got canceled by your office, not because of me. So she wrote me back and she says, I am so sorry. She said, we're short staffed, and she's like, I will refill your scripts, but she says, I really need an appointment for you. So I understood. So I made the appointment and everything's been dandy. I just wish I wish the hospital would get in gear. Okay, they complain that people don't pay their bills. Well, they make it so hard for you to pay your bill, for one. Outside of going in there and paying it yourself, yeah, don't try and pay for it online, because that ain't going to happen. That's not going to happen, to pay it online. They tell you, well, you got to make an account. Okay, so I made an account. Logged in. Nope. You need to create an account. Your account doesn't exist. I don't know how many times I've done that. Finally, it's just like, I'm done. I'm over it. So I've got to call them and get them some money. I hope you guys can see me crochet okay, because that was another complaint. Not a complaint, a suggestion, because it wasn't a complaint at all. It's just somebody had suggested, hey, when you crochet, can you back the camera up so we can actually see you crochet? Okay. So when I do these videos, whether it be a come crochet with me or this video, it's going to be, I'm going to try and have the camera back up and lowered a little bit so that way you guys can see. Some of you probably don't care, but some of you probably want to see, because we all do crochet different. We all do crochet different. We hold the yarn different. We hold the hook different. Um, I hold it more of a pencil style. Some people hold it as a knife style. Uh, I've seen people where they actually grip it like this, like almost like a saw. So whatever works. We do what we do. Whatever works for you. I'm showing you what works for me. So anyhow, I guess that was enough soapbox for one day. Lord knows it was enough. There's this, oh my gosh. There's this, oh, unbelievable. Unbelievable. It just seems like one day after another, one thing after another. And, oh. Another question that I had somebody ask, do I ball up my mini hanks before I use them? And I do. And I suggested that in the comment. I suggest, you know, you might want to ball it up, because with it being in hank form, sometimes it gets tangled within itself, and if you're not careful, you will have a huge knot, and sometimes you just have to throw the hank of yarn away. You can salvage what you can of it, but other than that, you just have to throw it away. So, my suggestion is most definitely ball it up. But that's just my opinion. That's just what I do. That's me. That's what I do. And my old saying, we do what we do, and we really do. At the end of the day, we do what we do, and it's okay. And we creators, we um, artists, and those that uh, design. I'm not a designer, so don't ever expect much in the way of designs from my channel, because I'm not a designer. Frankly, I don't have the time to design. If you really know and talk to some of the true designers, even some of these people that spin or dye yarn, if you talk to them and find out what it really entails, you know, it's it's a lot of work. Spinning, you can, even if you have a spinning wheel, you spin for hours, trying to get usable yarn. Whether it be, there's people that weave, but they spin their own thread, and it can be done on a spinning wheel. It's just, all of this takes time. It's not, we don't mass produce. So when you make a blanket, a scarf, a hat, gloves, socks, a sweater, a baby blanket, whatever you make, and you want to sell it, put a price on it that you feel is okay. You know, if you think that a baby blanket that you made is worth $75, by all means put $75 on it and try and sell it. You can always back down the price if you so wish. But if you don't want to back down, then stand your ground. The only people that will understand is the people that crochet, knit, and weave and spin or dye. We're the only ones that's gonna, oh yeah, she used superwash merino, or she used 100% alpaca, or he knitted this fabulous cabled scarf and they want $60 for it. Okay? We know. We understand that. It's like, yeah, the fiber alone would warrant that. And, so if you have an Etsy store or a shop or whatever, it's not a swap meet. I mean, if you want to come down a few dollars, by all means, come down a few dollars. But don't let them turn your hard work into a swap meet. Okay? Your time, your effort, your materials are worth something. So don't let the questionable come along and say, hey, I know you got $60 on that scarf, but how about 45? No. Thanks for asking, though. Unless you're okay with, hey, okay, I can live with $45. Do it. But if no, don't. I guess what I'm trying to get at is don't lower yourself just to make a sale if you really honestly believe that something is worth something. So we work hard and we do what we do, not to have somebody come along and say, no, you're not worth that. It's like, yeah, we are worth that. We are worth more than that. That's just me. I'm just on tangents today. It's like, oh my god, Russ, just shut up for once. But it's all true. If you really stop to think about it, and if any of you ever done commission work, you know what I'm talking about. Or if you've ever went to craft fairs, you know what I'm talking about. You almost automatically put a low price on it to begin with, because you want to sell it, you want to make money. You don't want to go to a craft show or a sale and bring back everything that you took. That's but in the same aspect, you don't want to go and give everything away. That's what I'm trying to get at. We crafters deserve recognition for what we do and the hard work that we put in. And I'm sitting here every day doing a mini hank every day. So it takes me 30 minutes a day. Okay? I'm not going to sell this blanket by the hour. It's going to be, I'm going to look at the materials that I used, how big it is, and go from there. So if you if you use $200 worth of hand dyed yarn or hand painted yarn, you can't sell it for $100. The minimum you could sell it for would be 200. The minimum. And so you couldn't sell it for 200 because that would mean that you were not worth nothing. And we are worth something. We are worth our worth. So anyhow, I'll shut up. I promise. And I hope everybody is doing wonderful. And one thing I would like to ask, if you guys watch this video, even if you're not subscribed to my channel, that's fine. But it would help me out if you just give me a thumbs up. You don't have to comment if you don't want to. But if you watch, at least give me a thumbs up. Unless you don't like the video. And then just don't leave nothing. Just leave. You don't have to leave any, it means a lot to anybody, that has a channel, whether you're subscribed to them or not. If you sat there and enjoyed the video from start to finish, why not show them a little love? Give them thumbs up. You don't have to leave a comment. But anyhow, I am getting down to the bare of this hank of yarn. And, like I said at the beginning, it wouldn't have been the hank that I gravitated to first because of the color. But, seeing it worked up in this blanket, it's pretty sharp. I'm impressed. And, it just goes to show you. Russ don't know. I'm just playing. I'm just playing. Oh my goodness. But it's amazing. And I have not, I'm at the end. I'm not stopping at the round. I am going all the way until I am out of yarn, and then I'll start the next one. I'm not stopping at where I started because I don't have enough yarn to make another round. Because this is a true scrappy blanket. And if you ever seen some of the old time scrappy blankets, they did the same thing. They didn't stop at the beginning of a row. If it was the middle, they changed color and moved on. Because it was a true scrappy blanket. And it was done in a time where you didn't waste anything. And all of these, I'm doing the magic knot for my blanket. And as you can see, all of those little where I tied it, when I snip those off, I'm not putting them in the trash. I'm putting them in a bag, and I'll show you the bag next time of all my little scraps. Some might be bigger scraps than others, but it's just a little bag. And what I will do after I get so much in that bag, I will stuff it down into a clear ornament bulb that you hang on your Christmas tree. So all of those little scraps will be on my Christmas tree. So that's what I'm going to do with all my little scraps. They're not going in the trash. So that way they get used without going in the trash. And we are at our end. So let's flatten this out a little bit. Oh, and this is much better. So, looky there. So, here it is all together. It made a little, it took it into some brighter days. And there's how far we went. We've almost went 3 rows. So there's 1, 2, 3. And doing just 2 in each square and doing the chain 1 really represents an actual full-size granny square. But this is only like a partial. So, just doing, because of the being thin yarn. So, anyhow. Oh my goodness, this went over 30 minutes. So, this Hank is done. I will see you guys tomorrow, and I love you. Don't forget that. And I will be looking forward to all your comments. I do read them. I respond. Maybe not with words, but you'll always get a thumbs up and a heart. So, until tomorrow, I love you guys. See you tomorrow.